Gus, you're going to kick us off with what you've been playing.
Yes, I played a game last weekend because it was only available last weekend. It was the open beta for Monster Hunter Wilds. This is the next game in the Monster Hunter series, so if you know anything about that series, you'll know more than I do already. I have dabbled in the Monster Hunter series, and I've always wanted to really enjoy them. Monster Hunter Wilds, for the layman, is probably closer to Monster Hunter Worlds, which came out like 7 years ago. In between that, Monster Hunter Rise came out. That was just on the Switch. It was a little more cartoony, and it was a little more. They kind of get put in two camps. There's the portables and the main console games. Again, this is a little more ultra realistic, a bit more serious, and I really like it. This story sets you up in the open beta. I don't know how far into it is. Maybe it's handpicking a moment later in the story, or it's going to start exactly where you kick off because your progress carries over into the main game. So this was a little bit of a glorified demo. However, it was there as a server test because the multiplayer aspect of these games is a big thing now. In the procedural world, in the world, to have other characters come and help you out. Monster Hunter, fictional universe. You play a hunter who has a ragtag group of people with you, and you're off to find the village of this young boy who is lost. That's the story. That's not the young boy. That's just me with a dashing tash. And Josh, if you skip forward a little bit, there you set off, save a villager, and then find yourself setting up a village with all your team in this first starting area where you can explore it freely. The goal, obviously, in Monster Hunter is to hunt monsters, which are big boss creatures that require unique attack styles, different techniques when it comes to the combat, the right weapon that feels good for you, all this kind of unique weapon strategy, all the right things to prep before you go out into the wild. It's very much it is a boss gauntlet of a game that obviously people love this series because they love the idea of the new monsters every game that comes out, the design, the tactics involved, the hunting it down. It sounds like I've read the game title,
Wilds.
but I've never played it.
And the betas that play it.
And the betas as well. From the get-go, this game was stunning. I really love the step up in graphic fidelity in this one. And again, I tried a little bit of World, but I didn't enjoy how obtuse it was in its setting up of how the game plays. This one a little bit better, but the onboarding for Monster Hunter games is going to be tough regardless. The text on screen, I'm allergic to UI, and this game is just loves throwing you up every bit of information at once. That said, the opening couple of hours of setting you off to find a creature in a cave, learn its fight styles, pick the weapon you like, I realize what it is about the Monster Hunter series that people not just love, but they adore. It is the freedom of picking and choosing how you want to engage with these big creatures that are hiding around the world, and you can choose to be an up-close and personal with a big, heavy melee weapon, or you can be a far-off melee person who skirts around and climbs on the back of them. The combat in these games is very freeing and not super regimented to attack styles. It is all about picking and choosing your times to attack the animal, and it will then, the monster I should say, it'll then run off.
No, they're
zones.
animals and you're murdering them.
So if we skip forward to one of the monsters, you might even see the moment that it's so injured it's crawling away, and I was like, oh my gosh, even though it's a big evil creature, there's some
How do you know
beautiful...
it's
evil? Exactly.
There's some beautiful animation to it.
Oh, Lord.
It does remind me of Dark Souls in the way that the combat is...
You have to be right there.
He didn't seem to want to
You know what
attack
makes
me
it
when I-
unlike Dark Souls? They don't run away in Dark Souls.
True, but it is the fact that the lock-on is really loose onto the enemy, and they are often giant lumbering creatures that you are just stuck under their feet. And so, yeah, it reminded me of the Souls games in the sense that you really need to find your opportunity of attack. The main difference, I think, or when I say difference, added feature to this game is that you do have a focus meter, which I believe is new, and apologies to anyone who's a diehard Monster Hunter fan who knows more about this than I do, but it does seem that if you attack a certain area of a monster over and over...
Their testicles, apparently.
well, anywhere... you can focus and see like a wound opening. It's just a red highlight on the creature.
I fucking bet.
You can then focus on that one area and do extra...
You seem to be. It's just how the game's played, everyone.
It's how you do it. But yeah, you'll be able to actually create a weak spot on the character that you can then Focus on
Tear it a
Josh,
weak spot.
please.
Tear it a
Yeah.
nice new weak
I
spot.
thought you wanted to see the
That's-
creature crawl away, Gus.
He doesn't
You're
do
trying
it.
to make it faint, not taint.
Well, he doesn't.
You were
Come on
telling me
now.
before that makes you hard. It's the only thing that gets you.
They should call you Gooch Mangus.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's running away, everyone.
Bye.
No wonder.
Bye. No, I forgot that
Gatling gun.
the battles in these games last upwards of sort of anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes or to half an hour trying to take out monsters that have huge health bars, which I think you never really see. So it's always just trying to work out how damaged that creature is. And I think it can go and heal itself. So it is a quest to go and find a monster and actually
It's almost
bring
as
it
if
down.
they're not supposed to be an enemy, right?
I mean, there's a
Usually
lot
a
of
health
people out there that
comes
like
up.
to hunt them and kill them, and this was a cute one at the start, but they got more evil. That said, I forgot that it is a real struggle, and it is a arduous task to take down a monster, which just means it's super gratifying when you actually do take it down finally and harvest it for all its meat. And then the main thing about the Monster Hunter games is that you harvest it for materials that you make weapons that people fucking adore. Like, the Monster Hunter series is about, I want to get this weapon, so I need these mats, so I need to go for this super rare creature. This is the opening 3 hours. You don't even get near that. So that's where I've always picked up and put down the Monster Hunter games. It's the first 4 to 5 hours because I enjoy the mechanics. I realize what they're all about. And then I realize there is a huge game ahead of me that I'm never going to scratch the surface any deeper than that of. I don't know if that's going to be the case with this one because I very much enjoyed the first 2 hours. I appreciated the online aspect, which is that you can shoot a flare as a sort of SOS if you're getting overwhelmed, and other people will be brought into your game to help hunt that monster. But again, I think that was part of Worlds as well. I don't think that's anything new, but it was handled really well in this game, and it was like a nice thing that you saw like Dark Souls people at the end of your kill also disappear back to their world. So I can definitely see not just the Monster Hunter appeal, he's back at that taint, not just the Monster Hunter appeal, but that persistent online kind of world that people would just spend so much time in. And again, there's just heaps of crafting. There's heaps of minutia to. I'm just
Sorry,
trying to
is
make
your-
some truck
is your
nuts out of this
sidekick-
bad boy?
Love the
Is your
minutia.
sidekick companion Lando?
It is. It has been for, I think, for all the
can
Monster
make a
Hunter
little
games.
cat friend.
Is you get a little cat friend, and I created Lando at the beginning of it. The worst thing about it is it has a voice. It has an annoying voice. I don't know if you can turn that off and just have it meow, but it does have this like, hey, let's go find a monster. And I was like, my cat does not sound like that.
That was something that I liked a lot about Gory Cuddly Carnage is the main character you play as like a cat, but like anthropomorphic, and it just can't talk. It just meows.
Perfect.
And I love it.
Yeah,
That's
Perfect.
funny.
But yeah, I think he or she can like throw little stun attacks while you're fighting
Chat
the
says
creature.
you can just make him meow.
You just make him. You can. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you,
There you
Tokenism. So yeah, again, these are a different type of game, and they definitely take a while to rewire your brain into remembering what the enjoyment, or where the enjoyment comes from, different from just an
As
open
soon
world
as you start
RPG.
cutting up a taint.
But the second you go right under that for the boss area there,
Yep.
it just all comes flooding back.
You played, this is your footage, yeah? You
Yes.
played on Xbox by the look of those
I did.
icons.
It performed.
run well?
It ran what I thought was really well. Again, it looked fantastic. Some of the weather effects and stuff that come in felt really, really polished. I think there might have been some stutter, but I didn't really notice. Again, in the middle of that action, you just kind of like caught up in the battle.
Totally. This looks beautiful. I just heard that it was running really bad on PC.
That's
Oh,
what
okay.
I heard as
Yeah,
well.
potentially. The beta was open on everything, both Xbox and PlayStation, with the PlayStation getting an extra week. But yeah, I think console seemed relatively stable. This is what I wanted to point out right at the end. At the end of this, I opened the map and I nearly had a stroke. I was like, Jesus, the amount of information that these games give you and the way in which it's telegraphed to the player. You will want to probably have either some pre-existing knowledge of the series or watch tutorials online and just get people to walk you through it, because that's a big part of Monster Hunter. It's fans bringing in fans. It's Dark Souls, it's Monster Hunter. It's like, let me teach you this game or get you hooked on it, attack a creature's nuts, and then you'll be like, I see, I
Is it
get
an
it now.
extreme game?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. It does have
Or
that, like,
sequence,
what am I going to do next? Which is the monster I'm ready for next? And maybe I'm not ready for that one, but I'm going to try and see
cool.
if it's the
So that's how
challenge I'm up for.
that's how you finish the game, is tackling enemies that are stronger and stronger.
Hunt
Different-
monsters in the wild.
Yeah.
That's
I just
it.
like how the name Monster Hunter could be applied to like any game out there.
At the end of it, it's
Yeah.
a mirror. and you realize you're the monster.
You're the monster all along. And
Spoiler
that
for every game.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
It's actually Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Like every game is technically
go.
Monster Hunter. If you think about it.
That's true. As I said, the progress carries over. So I will. It does tell you 6 times to buy the game in the beta as well. So I was like, is this a beta or is
Did
this
you buy
an
it
ad?
again?
No, not yet. I'll say.
No, that was Astrobot.